So what we were doing right there is we were putting antifreeze in all our liquid lines on our planter so we can winterize it and put it in cold storage for the winter, because we need to hook up the 765 to our grain cart. So our liquid tank is right here, and it's got all its plumbing down to each row. It's got a central pump, and so what we had to do is we had to dump, I think it was about 9 gallons of antifreeze up in the liquid tank, run it through the system, because what'll happen is it'll freeze, that liquid will expand, and it'll break all our lines, and it's not very fun to replumb something that you don't need to replumb as long as you winterize it correctly. I got the planter put away, hooked up the grain cart. Now I took the grain cart back over to the farm by the shop. I'm gonna change the engine oil in it, and I realized we didn't have the filter for it, so I came over here to find the filter number for both this 865 and the 765, because they both need their oil changed. And there it is. Just ordered the filter from Napa. They're gonna drop off that filter at 1. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil in this 765 while it's still warm, because we just drove it back over. Now we just wait for Napa to drop that filter off here at 1. Then we'll put the filter back on, screw that back in place, fill it with oil, which we filled right in here. We had it written down here. That seems to have worn off. So I'll check and see in the book how many quarts we need to add. I think I have it marked in here somewhere. Here we are. Approximate refill capacities, engine crate case and filter, 30 liters, 7.9 gallons, 6.6 imperial gallons. So what I just pulled out right there is our ball crank pumping line. Really nice. So this red line here, it's our compressed air compressors up there in the corner. Pulled that up, pressurize the system, then it'll let me pump my engine oil up through this metering handle and pump it directly into there without having to use like 5-gallon buckets or anything. So this is in quarts, so we'll go to 31.7 quarts. All right, well, just waiting on the filter now. That'll show up around 1. I'm gonna go inside and eat some lunch, and he will be here probably while I'm eating. Alrighty, well, my filter is not here yet, so, but I also need to put out the grain tank on the combine, so I'll do that real quick. 10 minutes later. I brought Brian over here to get the 865. We're gonna take that back to the shop, and he's got some ag leader stuff he's got to take out, GPS equipment. Then I'll change the oil on that in the morning, and we're gonna hook that up to the Ripper, which is a 2700. Got that this year. Not new, but it is new to us, and we'll see how that does. It's a 9-shank, 24-inch spacing Ripper, which we're intrigued to see how that does as far as getting the soil nice and black. And yeah, so we're bringing this over to the farm, gonna do all that stuff to it and keep getting ready. All right, got our filter. Gasket, the threads. We'll want to dribble a little oil on here so we get a better seal with our gasket. So I'll grab put some oil on that gasket. So here are the instructions if you've never replaced an oil filter before. It tells you to wipe off the port, put oil in it, the gasket, screw it until the gasket just barely touches, and then you do +1 turn. And so what that means is on here, once it touches, it says 3, you'll rotate it again to 3. So if I'll just kind of show you here, and I'm actually going to fill this with oil since it's dry. Alrighty, so we're full of oil. Rotate it until that 3 comes back around. And that should do it. hooked up. I went through, greased every grease zerk on the machine, on the grain cart, and now I'm just going to replace this light, which is burnt out, for a little brighter, nicer light. And I think we're actually also going to install a little camera on our auger spout here as well, so that we can see things a little better. Sun's probably too bright for the camera.
This picture looks good here.
So that's solder in the middle and shrink wrap around the sides.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it works. So I installed a camera here so we can see what's behind us, because with this big grain cart pulled behind the tractor, it's impossible to see what's behind you. Then I'm going to install another camera right up here on the spout. Got my camera mounted. Gonna route my cable up there down the spout into the cab, and we will test it out after that. Everything is wired. Camera there. Looking good. Six, okay. Got that screen for the unload, that screen for reverse. Got a lot done today, got everything pretty much where we want it. Didn't get to the oil on the red semi, but I think I'll do that tomorrow morning as long as we have the filter. But yeah, that'll probably end my video. We'll see you in the next one.